Hi, my name is Tony, and I didn't have friends until the age of 29. I'm 30 now and I have a lot to show you, because this is how I made friends. A lot of times when you look up how to make cocktails, they assume you know things. I assume you have no friends and no prior knowledge of cocktails. We'll start with the basics and build you up. This is the show that's made by amateurs for amateurs. Welcome to Tales of Cocktails. We're gonna make a Grenadine Gimlet. So Gimlet is obviously a classic drink and it's been more popular lately. The reason for this is its simplicity. You get some good quality gin and you get a lime. And then you get some simple syrup. The only difference with this drink is that we're gonna go with grenadine. So this drink involves lime juice, so as we covered in the other video, we're gonna need to shake this up. So we're gonna have ice in here, we're gonna combine all of those, we're gonna shake it up. You're gonna want a strainer that's a little bit more fine just to keep those ice particles that are broken up in there, as well as the pulp itself. So this is what you use, obviously. Hand juicer is gonna be the best way for any home amateur to make a cocktail. You're gonna wanna measure that juice. A lime will typically put out 1 ounce of lime juice, just on average. You're always gonna probably wanna measure that. So what I'm gonna do for you here in a little bit is squeeze that lime juice into here, put it back into here to measure it, and then put it back in after I put the ice in, and I'll demonstrate that. The importance to that is that, for this drink, if you think about it, we only have 3 ingredients here. So you really probably wanna do it right. So for this grenadine, probably gonna want better quality grenadine. For this lime juice, you're gonna want real quality lime. Or actually, a lot of cocktailers think that 4 hours is the perfect amount of time in between squeezing that fruit juice and then putting it into your cocktail. What happens with fruit is essentially oxidation. So the same way that an apple browns, that essentially happens to the flavor of your drink. The traditional glass for a gimlet is a coupe. You can also use a martini glass. Coupes are really popular right now. The thing that you're gonna wanna remember here is to refrigerate or freeze this glass. Really put it in the freezer if you can. This will keep your drink cooler for longer. Here's once again the jigger that I prefer. And this is your more traditional jigger. So it looks cool, and if you're about it, then go for it. But personally, I prefer this one. It has these handy marks at the top that I think are pretty neat, and it holds up to 2 ounces, whereas your typical jigger here only holds 1.5 ounces. One of the most important ingredients here is fresh lime juice. I'd encourage you, if you'd all have the opportunity, use a real lime. It'll be worth it. So what you do is you're gonna grab your lime here, you're gonna cut directly in the middle. There you have it. And you're gonna have a hand press juicer here. You're just gonna set it now. If you've never used one of these before, just remember the juice goes through these pores here. So you're gonna wanna set it right in there. Now I like to clean as little items as possible after, so I like to squeeze directly in here. There's no ice in this shaker yet. So you're gonna see these juices pour in. If you wanna get extra juice, sometimes you can double fold it in the hand press, kind of set it in there in a different way, and then give it another squeeze just to get a little extra juice out of it. All right, we have used that lime. Put the next one in there. So it's smelling pretty good about now. And for this drink, I want 1/2 ounce of lime juice. So I take my jigger that I'm gonna use and I pour it back out. And this lime had about 3/4 an ounce in there. So I'm gonna pour a little bit out so that I don't get too limey of a drink. We're gonna add the ice to the shaker. You're really just gonna want about this much roughly. We're only making enough for 1 drink right now, so this will do just fine. And we're gonna add all of our ingredients into this shaker. So we add 1/2 ounce of pre-measured lime juice here, the fresh stuff. And then I'm going to add 2 ounces of gin. So a lot of cocktails mix alcohols. This is the only alcoholic component to this drink. 1.5 ounces is a standard alcoholic drink. So we're gonna add 2 ounces here to kind of make up for the lack of other alcohols. This particular gin is 46%, so that's a little bit on the stronger side, as a lot of good gins tend to be. So we have 3/4 of an ounce of grenadine in here. Go ahead and pour that in. So this is going to add a very non-traditional color to our gimlet here. All right, so we slap this top on here, and it's ready to shake. All right, so now it's ready to go. You know it's ready essentially when the whole shaker gets this cold, I guess, condensation on the outside. That's typically a pretty good example that your drink is ready to go. Now, this particular shaker, a Boston shaker, has a strainer right here, so your drink can come out just fine that way. But since I have the lime juice in there and I don't want any pulp or fragmented ice getting into my beverage, I'm gonna double strain it here. Now, another key component of this is having a coupe glass that has been in the freezer for a little bit. So you can see the visual aesthetic right here of this coupe glass. It looks cool. So this is a desirable thing, and also it serves a pretty good function of keeping the drink colder itself. There's no ice in this drink, so having a chilled coupe glass is gonna be kind of important for this. So here we go. We have our drink that's been sitting in our shaker for a second, and we're just gonna pour it on in. All right, so that's gonna go to the very top of that one. Part of that is just because of the dilution of the ice. And there you have it. You have a Grenadine Gimlet. Whew, that was a hearty slurp. That's a good drink. The gimlet itself is kind of origins in probably London. I don't really know. But the gin itself comes from there, so I always think of it as more of an English drink. Have I made this drink before? No. But did it turn out well? Yes. Does it take a genius to figure that out? Probably not. Here's the thing. For a gimlet, you think of gin, lime juice, and simple syrup. Using grenadine for simple syrup in a drink that only has 2 other ingredients is kind of a guarantee that you're really not going to stray too far away from the original recipe, but by making just a slightly different drink. So that's the best part about a lot of the classics that have only a few critical components, just a few ingredients, is that you can make riffs or alterations to it to make it your own, suit your own style, and then you have your own cool drink that came off of a pretty reliable source. Well guys, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. Once again, my name is Tony, and if you want to join me for Tales of Cocktails, just smash that subscribe button, press that click, and you'll hang out with me in no time. Instagram, that's a thing.